morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what time of day you're, listening to this, or whereabouts in the world you are. I'm Mod. This is the MoDCast. Mod's version of a podcast, I suppose. With me today, I've got Lokk.
Hello.
DF.
Hey.
And Watson.
Hi.
And the three of them have sort of promised to behave for long enough to do a discussion about F1 2013, chaps.
I didn't make any goddamn promises.
I'll try, but I'm not promising either.
Well, as we're all aware now, F1 2013 is out. We've had a few weeks to get used to it while we're waiting for me to finish off my Marussia Minardi Championship. And, what were you all thinking? Let's start with Lokk.
I'm thinking I hate the rain still. Only because I'm currently doing a race in the rain.
Currently, you should be recording with us. Put F1 down for a minute.
It's paused. I'm not actually racing while I'm talking.
That would have been quite impressive if you were, actually.
I can't do two things at once.
I feel sorry for your woman.
Haha.
How about you, Watson?
Me, I, in contrast, quite like the rain in 2013.
But
I
you're
find
weird.
it better than 2012. Oh, screw you. It's better than 2012. And the only issue I have at the moment is it's a lot more demanding on my CPU. So when I'm recording, I'm getting far lower frame rates than I want. But apart from that, it's, it's fine.
I have to say, though, and I think DF will agree with me, the handling of the new game is a lot better. I mean,
Yes.
You could actually attack the curbs a bit more now, which is helping me and you out quite a bit, because we are the two slowest drivers of the four of us here.
Indeed.
You can actually drive on the curbs this time.
Yeah.
Without spinning.
I agree. Why are you laughing, Watson?
Because it's so fucking true.
It means now that one of your key advantages, you use curbs like there's no tomorrow in F1 2012, one of your key advantages is now gone, meaning the four of us should be a bit more equal, as we saw when we had a test race before this recording about a week or so ago now. We took the cars, it was the Saubers and Lotuses against the rest of the field. They were on amateur AI, and we were playing on Brands Hatch, and we were all within a second at the end of it, I think.
Something like
That was
that.
a brilliant race.
It was.
Apart from Hamilton.
Shame no one recorded that, actually.
It was a big shame. But that actually, Hamilton is a good point, actually, because there are a few issues with 2013, are there not?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yeah. Lokk, why
There's no issues, there's just Hamilton.
Lokk, why didn't you tell us a bit about the AI a bit more?
AI. I think it should be called AD. Because it's not intelligent at all. They break too much for the corners, and they're too fast in a straight line, I've found.
How much of that is, though, do you reckon, Watson, related to the frames per second issue that has been happening to people before today's patch, which we'll come to in a bit?
Well, in terms of the player car, in terms of the bug itself, actually, let's talk about that first.
Yeah, let's talk about the bug for anybody sat at home wondering what we're on about.
So, basically, if you're working on a lower-end computer, so mine isn't lower-end, but it can't quite handle 2013 amazingly if I'm recording. So I'm getting around 30 frames a second. Someone like me, who's getting 60 frames a second less than you, Mod, is going to get less grip, and because of that, worse acceleration, higher tyre wear, and generally just lower lap times. So, now they've patched it, apparently, we should be getting the same lap times as you twat.
Well, going against me, though, from something I read from the patch notes that you educated me on a bit more, Watson, was that if you got over 30 frames a second, the track didn't even rubber in for you. So
I don't know why that happens.
Bit of an unusual bug, I'd say. So it's taken Codemasters, about 2 or 3 weeks to fix these issues? Considering the size of the company, would you say, Lokk, that this is a fair response time?
Yeah. It's not a bad response time. It's better than some companies are. It's still a bug, though, that I don't know how it got through any beta testing or alpha testing or any testing at all. But it's 2 weeks for a major company on quite a big game that's obviously got a lot going on behind the scenes. It's not too bad.
I would argue against that though, because maybe I'm spoilt by more recent developments from, say, Minecraft, who put out weekly patches, and if there's a bug, they'll do it within 24 hours. Space Hulk, Watson will back me up on this. They patched that game 3 times in the first 48 hours. There's many
Something
examples,
like that, yeah.
and yet a great big company like Codemasters, it takes them a while to actually do anything. I mean, I'm just wondering what their excuse is, especially considering this game has cost us a lot of money. Not that I want to sound like I'm entitled to anything other than a working game. To be honest, they could have just left the game going, oh, you paid your money, this is what you got, enjoy, and just buggered off into the sunset. So credit to Codemasters for actually patching it. But I still think they've taken too long. And it makes you wonder if any other issues do come up in future, which they inevitably will. Will they take forever to patch that? And if it's late into the game's life cycle, before 2014 comes out, for example, are they going to bother patching the game then?
There is one bug which I want patched out like now, and that's in 2012 you set yourself on a 25% race. You set yourself to cautious fuel strategy, and you get 5 extra laps of fuel. Set yourself to aggressive, you get 1 extra lap.
Mm-hmm.
In 2013, every time I set it to cautious, I get +1 lap. I set it to normal, +1 lap. I set it to aggressive, I get optimal. It's like, well, where's my strategy? You're just giving me 1 extra lap.
Is it a visual bug, or is it actually a fuel level
Oh,
issue?
it's actually a fuel level bug.
It's actually a fuel level bug, yeah.
Wow.
I've noticed it uses fuel much more aggressively in this game. When I turn the fuel up, it runs out very fast. I don't know if that's true to life. It's just very different from 2012.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hello, Rune.
I know the cars this year in real F1 are 4 kilograms heavier because of the tyre changes, but 4 kilograms heavier with aerodynamic improvements, it's negligible, really.
Actually, Watson, you're probably the best person to ask, because you've got a F1 2012 Hot Lap series. How do the speeds of the cars compare year on year?
I don't know what's changed in the game specifically to make it like this, but the DRS change. So in 2013, you can only use it in DRS zones now, whereas in 2012, you could use it wherever the hell you wanted during qualifying and practice.
Rune agrees anyway.
Yeah. At, say, Korea. I love Korea. It's a brilliant track. I could go 2 seconds faster in 2013 now, but as I say, I don't know what's changed about the cars to say this has really made that 2-second difference. The only thing I can say is I have less DRS, which in theory means less speed.
I don't...
Mind you...
Go on, DF, sorry.
Mind you, I've also improved my time from 2012 to 2013 on Monaco by 5 seconds, was it?
Yes, you're the Monaco master at the moment.
I remember you bragging about that, DF, and thinking, oh god, I thought I was actually going to have a chance of winning 2013 Monaco. No, DS got it.
Well, at Monaco, I can sort of understand, because year on year the cars get better aerodynamically.
No, Lokk.
And Monaco's not about...
Lokk, you don't understand, you understeer.
No, I don't steer. Not at Monaco.
I'll just go straight on, I'll park it here. See you later, guys, and go to the pub.
Yeah. No, but at Monaco, it's all about how much grip the car has. So they're being better aerodynamically. That I can understand, being a track where the cars would be faster. But at a track like Korea or anywhere else that has anything more than 5 meters in a straight line, it doesn't make any sense at all.
I think one of the main reasons for the increased pace is possibly the Pirelli tyres have had the compounds changed, so they're a bit softer. So they're using softer compounds this year compared to last year. So that might be one reason for getting... Well, what you quoted 2 seconds, Watson. DF, you said 5 seconds at Monaco. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh. So the AI, we've noticed some issues with the AI actually. Specifically, well, I've only tested it on amateur. I don't know about Lokk, Watson, DF. I know you've got roughly the same level of experience with the game as me. But it's basically one of the drivers, usually Hamilton, we usually turn around in the middle of the long straight on, say, Austin, and just do donuts on the main straight.
I just find he parks himself in front of me into the first corner.
Yeah, Brands Hatch, brilliant example.
Yes.
I do find though that the AI is very aggressive this time out, and the penalties needs another look. I think. Me and DF in the test race at Brands Hatch, we span, and we got a penalty for dangerous driving, and then we had to do a donut to get ourselves back onto the track. That was also dangerous driving, and we got black flagged for the session. Just a bit harsh, wouldn't you say, lads?
It's a tiny little bit.
Just a tiny bit, yeah.
And that's not even discussing any penalties I may have got in the race for Maldonado hitting me.
He's the other problem with the game.
He is. Although rumour has it he may not be in F1 at all in 2014, so we don't need to worry about him for too much longer.
Yeah, people. Yeah, he doesn't have enough money to cover his arse.
Oh, he's got plenty of money. It's just he doesn't want to be
No,
a Williams
he
anymore.
doesn't have enough money to cover his arse.
Okay. Well, let's move on then. Modding cars. This is more, I feel, at Lokk's direction, this particular question. How much easier would you say it is to mod 2013 cars compared to 2012? Could you talk us through maybe the processes from one compared to the other?
How much easier? Negative infinity. It's much harder for 2013 than it was for 2012 because Codemasters, for some reason on the F1 game, they've done the complete opposite to what they did on like Grid 2. Grid 2, they actually brought out, I think, a program that helped you make your own liveries and stuff. But with 2013, they've decided that all the cars, the livery for them now has to be only half the car, and it's all coding to flip logos around from one side to the other. So you can't do a lot of custom liveries unless you do logos in exactly the same spot, exactly the same sort of sizes as they have in the originals.
Mm.
It's like you had on 2013 mod the BAR Honda that was half the Lucky Strike livery and half the 555 livery.
Yes, I used that to replace the Force India. Gorgeous livery.
Gorgeous livery, but in 2013 that's utterly impossible. Left side and right side of the car have to be the same.
Which is a
You
sodden
can't-
shame, if I'm honest.
Yes, you can't have an asymmetrical design.
Kind of makes sense in a way, because that BAR is the only asymmetrical design that springs to mind across F1 history, if I'm honest.
Well, to that level, yes.
This is true.
But I believe if you look at the Toyota livery, boring as it was,
Yes, yes.
the red stripes were not exactly the same left to right.
They were all
They were-
going across the bodywork at a diagonal, weren't they?
Yes. Yep. So there is other cases of it, but it's not a common thing. Most teams have the same one side as the other so that you can tell what car it is. I'm pretty sure anyone that watches, though, can usually tell what car it is if they watch more than just the odd race every now and then.
This is a very fair point. Watson, you've had a few experiments with the 2013 modding engine, have you not? Specifically, have you actually made a video for your Marussia livery yet?
Yes. Do you know when this podcast will be going live exactly? Because depending on when, we may have seen this already on YouTube.
I'm hoping some point before Monday, because I want to cover other things in this podcast as well, which might be needed to be covered before my F1 video goes out on Monday.
Okay. Well, 2 o'clock Saturday and 2 o'clock Sunday, both GMT. I have my qualifying and race from my F1 2013 Marussia Professional Series, and yeah, let's just say we meet the pink Marussia, a pink goddamn Marussia, everyone.
Getting back to the point and getting away from
No,
the
it's like,
advert.
it is. No, I'm just saying, like, you asked, have I've done a video of it yet?
Yes.
It's like, yes.
I just want to drag it back onto point though, which is how much of a pain in the arse would you say it was just to do that one car?
Quite a pain. I have not found the side pod. I still have not found the goddamn side pod.
Would you like to explain for the people listening at home how the side pod would work on? Just explain how it works generally when you're trying to change its colour.
Right, so, well, you mean like how I've tried to find the side pod, I should say.
Usually, though, just to bring you all up to speed, guys, when you're looking at the Marussia side pod, the bottom half of it, from the front of the side pod all the way back to the rear wheel, is completely black, you'd think that would be one solid chunk on the livery.
Texture file.
That's the one. Thank you, Lokk.
It's not one solid block. In fact, it's like 3 different pieces. One of them is smaller than a gnat's testicle. One of them is just generally quite small, and one of them is just long. It's 3 different textures, well, pieces of texture, which have been stretched out to different sizes, which makes it quite impossible to really put a logo on there or anything.
The only reason I could possibly think they've come up with this idea is because they've now started to introduce DLC into the game, have they not, with the older cars and the 1976 Ferrari T12 T2. Gorgeous car. But the only thing I can think of is maybe they're going to introduce some more liveries in the future, and they want to make it as much of a pain in the arse as possible for people like you to do your own liveries. Because I know, Watson, we were talking about maybe having slightly customized texture files for the Saubers and Lotuses when we do the 4-player championship, just swapping names, for example, or in your case you wanted a different number. But do you get where I'm going with this? I think it's just, in my opinion, it's just Codemasters are trying to do it to make more money in the long run.
Well,
I think they'll make less money.
Lokk first, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was
I think they'll make less money because they've deterred all those people that made custom stuff for the previous games. Because I frequent a forum that does that, and for all the previous games, there was every second or third day someone had made a new car based on something or other, and now all they've been able to do is other little updates. They've fixed up cameras like they normally do and stuff, but for the cars themselves, I've seen, I think, 1 custom livery. The rest of them have only been high definition updates where they make the texture file double or triple the size that it is normally.
That would be nice. It would stop some of my logos going all get and bitty.
Yes, the double HD liveries are very nice. Those people are quite good at it.
Oh, actually, let's ask DF a question. DF, have you played with any of the old cars yet?
No, actually I haven't.
Oh.
I only been playing with the new ones.
Oh, that's a shame. Why haven't you? They're fun.
Basically because I haven't played too much of Formula 1 2013 since I bought it.
Okay, I'll let you off then. I thought that'd be a good chance for you to get involved, because everyone's just sat there thinking, where's DF? He hasn't spoken much today. And then you go and do that to me. Okay then, buddy. I can ask you then. Are you looking forward to the 4-player championship we're going to have coming out soon?
I'm really looking forward to that. I've been that since, I think it was June.
We've done test race after test race. We're happy we've got a format now. Basically, for anybody listening, there is going to be a 4-player championship. Myself and Watson are sticking with Sauber, and Lokk and DF are going to be using Lotus. And from what Lokk and Watson have found, they are the 2 most evenly matched cars in the grid, and they'll give us both teams realistic chances of fighting for victories. Of course, by that I mean Watson and Lokk, because me and DF are nowhere near on their level yet.
In regards to the Sauber and Lotus being similar, I think Lokk had a difference of 0.023 seconds across a lap, and I had a difference of 0.018 seconds across a lap.
So hundredths, literally hundredths between.
Between us, there was a 5,000th difference of a second. 5,000ths between the 2 cars, if you take into account our skills.
And that was just using basic setups, nothing custom at all, just the standard setup that's in the game.
Actually, if I remember rightly from the times we were both posting in Skype chats, a lot of the cars are actually quite similar. We're talking the top 8 or so cars all within half a second. Then you got the Caterham, which is slightly faster than the Murusha, which is massively faster than the Toro Shito.
Which, when I did my laps, because I was still learning the track, was even faster than the Red Bull. The Red Bull was the slowest car that I used.
Makes no sense.
because I didn't know the track. As I learnt the track, the first I think it took me like 4 cars because I was only doing a maximum of 3 laps at a time just to get an initial feel for each car. So by about the 3rd or 4th car, I'd learnt the track. I did go back again afterwards to try, I think the Ferrari it was, because I thought that was the best car. And I did get a much faster lap with that. But I find the Red Bull and the Toro Rosso suffer heavily from having far too much torque in the lower gears. For me, I'm too heavy on the accelerator, and they get a lot of wheel spin.
Nothing that can't be solved with a gentle right foot? Or thumb, finger, whichever you use to play with the touch pads.
No, mine's made of lead. I'm a digital gamer. It's on or off. Yes.
So all this time,
it's all or nothing.
All this time you've been playing with digital and not analog, and you've been as close as you have been to Watson. I'm impressed.
No, I do have an analog controller, but my finger is still digital.
Oh. Face palm. Sorry, mate. I completely...
No, if I was doing that with digital, like Squirrel's effort
so
with a keyboard.
Damn scared.
Yeah.
Now, DF is unique amongst the 4 of us in that he still uses Chase Cam. Chase Cam was popular during the PlayStation age when it gave you a better view distance down the track. You could place your car a bit better because in-car graphics were lacking at the time, and by lacking I mean your draw distance was quite limited for no reason. And DF has stuck with the Chase Cam for all these years, and he's on our pace, which is going to make for interesting viewing in any case. How do you do that, DF? I mean, I tried going back to Chase Cam recently, and I just couldn't do it.
I guess it's just my way of driving.
If you're used to it, I don't think it's a problem.
No.
It's once you've gotten used to something else and trying to go back.
Well, the thing is, I'm not using the rear chase in Forza, for instance. I'm actually using the bump cam there.
Forza's got some good cameras, to be fair.
Yeah. So it depends on the game, actually.
A valid point. Will you be sticking with the Chase Cam for 2013?
I believe so, yeah.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing Lotuses and Saubers bashing each other in third-person view, shall we say?
Well, that's his advantage. He can see where they are. We just get little white arrows saying, there's someone there. It's probably Hamilton. He's going to run into you.
Actually, to be fair...
Or Maldonado.
To be fair, from what I've seen in 2013, the Chase Cam is a lot better than it was in 2012. It's slightly more elevated, and the car's slightly more closer to the bottom of the monitor, meaning you can actually see more of the track in front of you. You can place the car a bit better. So DF, it should still be okay, actually, in that respect. It might actually improve even more still. Just to scare you all.
Well, DF's lap times, he can do a really fast lap. I've noticed that. It's just a matter of his consistency.
Which will
Actually, yeah, he's routinely getting faster lap times than you across the race, isn't he, Lokk?
Yes. I don't mind. See, I'm a proper teammate.
Yeah.
As long as the team does well, I'm happy.
Remember that, Watson.
Hey, I tried to hold them up in Brazil. You were just too inconsistent.
Monza.
You didn't try to hold us up in Brazil.
Hungary.
No, I mean,
Couldn't even see you in Brazil.
I mean the end of the 2012 series that I did with Mod.
Oh,
The amount of times I was the awesome number 2 for you. You couldn't even give me one win.
I tried, you were just too busy spinning.
I had to wait until I got into a Marussia to get my first win.
Mod had to go backwards to win.
Well, anything compared to Watson's backwards, I suppose. But that killed the conversation.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay, screw you all. So I think it's getting up to the point now we should think about wrapping this up. Have we got any more thoughts on the 4-player championship? Because I don't know about you guys, I'm quite pumped for it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Same here.
I think by the time this podcast goes live, I should have 2 races left in my season, and then we can think about doing a proper plan for the championship. I mean, we're definitely recording the races together, are we not? And I think me and Watson are planning on doing about half hour worth of practice where we can help each other out and talk about tactics, whatnot. Are you two planning on doing anything similar for your channels, or?
How are we actually gonna do this? Have you been thinking about maybe should you just try and split up the qualification from the race?
As
Team
in split
strategy?
up. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing that if we split up like practice and qualifying. So yes, we can have some work out team tactics, and then all come back for the race because it was more fun with everybody involved.
I think the system we tried before was actually pretty much identical to that, wasn't it, Watson? Where we had the two teams in separate Skype calls and everybody joined together for the race. I mean, my initial plan was to have everybody in separate calls all the way through until the end of the race, and then we could have a debrief and talk shit with each other and blah blah blah.
Yeah, when we tried that before, that wasn't quite as fun. It was better with all four of us at that time in the call for the race, but I do like qualifying in separate calls, just so that you can be a lot more tactical, just like, right, I'm going to pit at this time, I'm going to do this, I'm going to have this tyre for my fastest lap.
But I would argue against that, though, to say that when we were playing that race in Brazil, when we had the Gameosaurus with us, and I was constantly thinking, what's he doing? What are you doing? Where's the undercut going to come in? All this sort of stuff. And that's the sort of thing I would hope to get across to people watching home. But it seems that you guys and everyone else is more interested in having the joint call for the race.
I prefer the joint call because you get to troll each other.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't tell people when you're pitting, see? So that's why they don't know about the undercut. And then Watson goes and tries to do an entire race without pitting just because he wants to see if he can undercut everybody.
You know how the undercut works, right?
Yes, I do.
That would imply he pits first. If he doesn't
No.
pit,
Oh, yeah, if he gets the undercut or if he can beat the undercut.
beating the undercut, that works.
Yeah.
So, has anybody got any final words on this before we actually bring this to a wrap?
Nope.
Boobs.
Boobies! Yay!
Spaghetti.
Right, well, thank you very much for listening then, everybody at home. I look forward to bringing you more news on the 2013 4-player championship as and when we actually come up with it. In the meanwhile, I've been Mod, with me has been Lokk,
Hello. Bye-bye.
DF,
Arrivederci!
and what's his name again? Watson, that's the one.
Hashtag mod sucks!
Oh, fuck off. Yeah, there we go. It starts. Thank you for behaving as long as you have, guys. It's been a lot of fun actually doing this podcast, believe it or not. And hopefully do another one in a month's time. If anybody is listening to this thinking, well, maybe you could talk about Kerbal with 4040 or do Minecraft with a couple of the other Tuxedo lads, then leave me what you'd maybe like me to discuss with fellow members of Team Tuxedo in the future, and we'll see about making it happen. Thanks for listening. Dream big. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye!